I hate foreigners, and the government is doing nothing. Our kids have turned into zombies.
Go back to your countries. We are tired of you guys. Go back to your countries. Stop this nonsense.
If you have any plans of going to South Africa, be it for business or for vacation, you have to pause and rethink, because xenophobia is real in South Africa. Mind you, I'm not trying to say that all South Africans are xenophobic, but then, at the moment, South Africa is on fire. For years, the story has been the same. They're taking our jobs, they're destroying our community, they're fighting our people. We cannot progress with them in our country. This has only been narratives that are being spread across the world. Social media, amongst themselves, amongst black ordinary people who are living in South Africa. Behind this anger lies the darker truth. Corruption is being done to South Africa by South Africans. South Africa is one of the richest countries in Africa, but then they are also one of the most unequal society in the world. Decades after apartheid officially ended in 1994, the lands, the economy is still concentrated by whites. According to the last land audit published in 2017, South Africa's total land area covers 121.9 million hectares. But this is the tricky part. Not all of this land is being registered at the deeds office. According to the IRR report of the state land audit that was being presented in 2018, it shows, and I read, race, hectares, and percent of total. Whites own 26,663,844 hectares of land. That is approximately 71.9% of the land in South Africa is being owned by the whites. Blacks own 1,314,873 hectares of land. That's approximately 3.5%. From this IRR report given by the land audit, states that the whites own 71.9% of the land in South Africa. That's approximately 72%. This is a very serious issue because land isn't just wealth. Land is what controls the country. Now, let's dive into the numbers. South Africa has a population of 63.1 million people. Let's look at the statistics. 48.5 million people are black. 11.5 million people are white, colored, Asian, and Indian. Then, 3.1 million people are migrants from other African countries. Now, 3.1 million people are being accused of taking over their jobs, taking over their lands, and not paying tax. Meanwhile, 11.5 million people are whites. Now, these whites are not being pursued. They're not being pushed over. They're not being accused of taking their jobs. Let's think about it critically. How can 11.5 million people, approximately 7% of the population, own 71.9% hectare of their land? Out of 100%, they own 71.9%, approximately 72%. I'd like to read the report from Daily Data News. A land audit report of 2017 shows that 82% of the total land in South Africa is owned by private landowners. The report further shows that 72% of private landowners is owned by white people who make up only 9% of the population. How can 9% of the population have 72% of your land? That is very serious. But then, when Operation Dudula comes on board, they look at the blacks. They don't even attack the whites. They don't go around pursuing illegal migrants. They only look at illegal black migrants, which is very unfair.
Can they Dudula white people first?
Yes, I'm going.
I'm not even going to talk. I don't care.
Sure.
To be quite honest, I feel like I wish for it to be successful, because I want to see those brothers and sisters of ours that want to take up those jobs of restaurants and tuck shop. Is that what we have? So since 1994, jobs. Our fight has been tuck shops and restaurant jobs. Is that what, as South Africans, I'm not saying we must not look out for those jobs. The problem is we can only talk to the waitresses. Why are we not talking to the Italian who owns the restaurant? My thing is they Dudulaing halfway.
In 1994, Nelson Mandela became the president of South Africa after apartheid. He became a symbol of forgiveness and unity. And that's because when South Africans were going through crisis, they went to Nigeria to fund the liberation movement. They went to Zambia to shelter their freedom fighters. They went to Tanzania to train their ANC members. They also went to Zimbabwe to host their exiles. When they went to those countries for help, I don't remember any recording saying that Nigerians asked them, is Nigeria the closest to your country? Why are you jumping other countries to come to Nigeria? But when you watch most videos online, you hear things like, why are you guys coming to South Africa? Is South Africa close to you? The first xenophobic act was in May 2008. The next was in 2015 during the 2015 riots. Another one followed, 2017 anti-immigrant marches. They called it an operation to pursue all immigrants that are staying in their country without legal papers. That was not all. Another one came up in 2019. There was an attack in Johannesburg and Durban against illegal migrants. The funny thing is, all these attacks were only going to Black Africans, their fellow brothers. It didn't end there. They created a group called Operation Dudula. They started taking their action in 2022. They claimed that foreigners were taking their jobs. The painful part is, the foreigners that were taking their jobs were just made waitresses, people who cleaned shops, people who worked in restaurants, people who sold food by the roadside, or people who sold shoes by the roadside. The attack was mainly on Black Africans. No whites, all Africans. Hold on, I'm taking you somewhere. They failed to look at the real problem with their country, the inequality, the bad governance, the poverty, the corruption. Instead, they blamed everything on illegal immigrants. While the poor Africans were fighting themselves on the streets, billions were being siphoned by South Africans themselves. I'd like us to take a sneak peek at the corruption that's happening in South Africa. Let's take a look at the health sector. If you go online, you'll see videos of many South Africans pursuing other Africans from their hospitals. Whether you're pregnant, whether you're sick, whether it's your child, they don't even care. They are pursuing them, accusing them of taking all their health care, forgetting that they have leaders at the top who are taking from them.
Hey, pass. What's Zimbabwe? You run past and go to the border.
There has been a lot of scandal in the Ministry of Health in South Africa. The former Minister of Health, Julius Malema, was placed on a special leave. He was accused of stealing 150 million rands during COVID, and it was said allegedly that he used the money to renovate his house and buy cars for his son. We didn't see South Africans march to his house to bring him out and ask him to refund the money, but then they were busy attacking Africans who were just selling by the roadside, when the people that are stealing the real money are at the top. Away from Julius Malema, another health director, Sandile Botlizi, was also accused of stealing from the health sector. He was suspended on charges of fraud and theft of 1 million rand. But then, South Africans are still blaming other African countries for the lack of health care in their country. Instead of them attacking their leaders who are stealing from them, they choose to attack Black foreigners who are staying in their country. They choose to deprive them of health care. Away from the health sector, let's look at the power sector. The former CEO of Eskom went as far as revealing that the corruption in Eskom is costing South Africans 1 million rands every month. That's about $60 million. But then, South Africans are not seeing this. In December last year, the country's Special Investigation Unit uncovered a 54 million rand scandal that was linked to a South African businessman. But then, no South African has come out with any camera to talk about it. They are busy accusing other Black immigrants of load shedding, of taking their electricities, their jobs, and not paying tax.
Foreigners don't pay tax, so they shouldn't use our public hospitals. That lie gets repeated often, and some of you actually believe it. But this is just lazy propaganda. Foreigners do pay tax every single day. Every time a foreigner buys food or clothes, they are paying tax. It's called VAT. But when you tell xenophobes about this, they suddenly say, oh, but VAT doesn't count. If VAT doesn't count, then we should refund foreign nationals all the money they pay towards VAT. After showing that foreigners do indeed pay tax, they move the goalpost. But foreigners don't pay income tax. You know who else doesn't pay income tax? 8 million unemployed South Africans. Should they be denied public health care too? Be honest, this was never about tax. This is about finding any excuse to justify cruelty against poor, undocumented black people. That's all it is. Then comes their next excuse. But other countries put their own citizens first. If those countries are so great at looking after their own people, why are those same people risking their lives to come to South Africa?
Just this April, 21 South African officials were caught in a 35 million rand street light scandal. Yet, they are still accusing immigrants of load shedding. They are still accusing immigrants of not paying their task. Let's not forget, when the Krupta brothers hijacked South Africa using bribes instead of bullets, nobody said anything. Nobody fought against them. Everybody was quiet. Even when the ex-president Zuma stole $3.5 billion from their government, nobody stood up. Nobody said anything. Everybody was still quiet. Millions are being lost, not because of black immigrants, but because of the corrupt government. Now, I'm not trying to say that illegal immigrants in South Africa should still remain in South Africa. What I'm trying to say is, even if you want to pursue the illegal immigrants in your country, you don't have to use violence. You don't have to use force. You don't have to hit them. You don't have to beat them. You can do this thing swiftly without making noise. Now, let's leave the power sector. Let's look into the police sector. The National Police Director, Fanny Masemola, allegedly stole the sum of $360 million. He made the headlines. He broke finance law over unlawful awarding of a healthcare grant. This means that he allocated 360 million rand, which was never documented, to the healthcare sector. Nobody's talking about this. Everybody is looking at the weaker vessel, which are the other blacks, the other poor blacks in your country. This case was so severe that he appeared in court. How can national police officers steal? What does that tell you about your government? But no, South Africans will talk about that. They won't blame their government. They will blame black Africans for the corruption in their country. The painful thing is, when a South African is talking to a black African, they talk to them with disrespect. They do not even regard them because they're illegal foreigners. But then, when you see them talking to the whites with so much respect, with so much intentionality, you don't even want to make them angry. You want them to just understand what they're trying to say. Now, it would have been easy for you guys to come out and say, oh, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, any other country, we don't want you guys in our country. Please, once you see the immigrant officers coming to your house, please leave. You didn't have to use force. You didn't have to use violence.
Where are you from? Where? Huh? DRC. So what are you doing here? Because we've been calling for you guys to leave the country. Why are you still here? No, my brother. No. Please, respect what we are saying and don't try and oppose what we are doing. Don't listen to the government, don't listen to the police, don't listen to anyone. Just listen to us. We are saying this peacefully. Please go to your brother.
I'd like us to compare this to how he spoke to the whites.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, I'm fine. Yes, I'm here concerning the complainants about the employees. Your employees, they've laid their complaints and they were not attended proper and also there are a lot of complaints regarding their salaries whenever there is a shortage of food inside the shop. You took their money, 1,000 rand, and then they don't get proper payments, and now you are threatening them to chase away. So the land was in cars.
The only thing I'm going to say to you is that it has gone to Famous Brands lawyers that have looked at it, and that is where it stops. You've now dealt with people Monday, Tuesday, and today, so that's where we are.
So why did you allow your management and yourself to exploit these ladies?
A political figure has taken a dangerous step. He has come out to stand for the truth. His name is Julius Malema. His action against xenophobia has caused a lot of South Africans to hate him.
There are a lot of illegal immigrants here in South Africa who are white people. Many of them are found in Cape Town. One of them the other day tweeted that I came to Cape Town for tourism 6 months. I can't believe I even stayed for more than 12 months. It's so nice. This thing can't hear that he's saying it's illegal. in the country. But it doesn't apply to white people. There was never an outrage on Twitter that she doesn't have visa. Had a black person said that, or my brother, the way is so nice here in Hillborough. I didn't even renew my visas. You will go home the following day. Our own people will go hunting for that person. But I looked at that thing of that white lady with interest, and I wanted to see what is going to be the reaction. Nothing.
Nelson Mandela dreamt about a united Africa, but now things are beginning to fall apart.
They are scared of white people. Look at them. When they speak to a white person, they are very respectful. They show manners. When they speak to a black person, they are violent. But let's ask a question. After you marched and say you don't want Zimbabweans, you don't want Nigerians, you don't want Ghanaians, you close shops, you march. Why are you not coming back to tell us the following day that after that march, we expelled 10 Zimbabweans, and out of those 10 Zimbabweans, we're able to give 10 South Africans jobs? There is no such a report. Why? Because now Kuba ma Zimbabwe, hauna misebetsi, batho bale ba ma Zimbabwe, ba etsa mesebetsi e lona le sa batleng ho e etsa because those are slaves' jobs. They don't pay anything.
Every country in Africa should fix their country. Many people living in South Africa now are now living in fear. They don't know what might happen tomorrow. The painful part is, most of the people fighting on the street are the people who share the same pain, the same poverty, and the same struggle to survive.